Let's go east. Let's go east. 58. We're going east because all the doors were east so far. Since we've done all of west earlier, we may as well now just stick to east. Cautiously, you creep along the passageway. After a short time, it turns sharply to the north. At the corner there is a bench of solid wood, and above the bench reads the sign, "Rest ye here, wary traveller. You may stop and eat provisions if you wish." No, I'm not falling for this. Rest ye here, wary traveller. To get this far, you'd have to defeat lots of goblins and orcs and sneak past several guard posts. I do not believe anyone here is going to let us rest. This would be a trap. A rock would fall from the ceiling, or worse, maybe even a guillotine. We will continue to 367. You arrive at another junction in the passageway. If you'd like to turn westwards, turn to 235. If you wish to go east, 323. We're already decided we're going to go east. It just seems to make sense to stick with one direction. Otherwise, we might end up going in circles or something. Actually, you're more likely to go in a circle if you keep in the same place. 323. If you keep going the same way, you're more likely to go into a circle. After a few meters, you reach another three-way junction. You may either go northwards or eastwards. This is a tough one. Let's go east. We should keep going the same way. At this point, we are firmly, deeply into the mountain. It was 255, wasn't it? Let me just double check. I don't want to be wrong there. So it's easy. If you ever get lost, you can just go back to where you were. Yes, 255. Perfect. The passageway ends in a sturdy wooden door. You want to try opening it, turn to 193. If you want to go back to the junction and try another route, turn to 93. Let's open the door. The door opens and you enter a small room. Your eyes widen as you look around to see the walls of the room are covered in ornate stonework. Mosaics and marble inlays give this room a kind of beauty you have never seen before. In one corner of the room is a large metal statue of a one-eyed creature. In its eye is a sparkling jewel. As there appears to be no other ways through the room, you will have to go back to the junction. That large jewel is very tempting. Will you leave it alone or go back to the junction? And go back to the junction, or try to take the jewel with you? I don't think we should try to take the jewel. But we're the strongest we're ever going to be. My reasoning for not taking it is that we have a long way to go, I assume, and there's many treasures along the way, and hopefully ones that aren't, traps, obvious traps. This is obviously a trap. We will go back to the junction. Sorry to disappoint anyone there who wished to see what happened. You arrive back to the junction, and this time you turn northwards. Perfect. 8. We're all the way back to the beginning of the book. The passage ahead ends in a sturdy door. You listen but hear nothing. You try the handle, it turns. You enter the room. As you look around, you hear a loud cry from behind you and swing round to see a wild man leaping towards you, wielding a large battle axe. He is a mad barbarian, and you must fight him. Damn, okay. There is a door in the north wall opposite, through which you may escape during the battle. I will try to fight this barbarian. Why another human would be this far into the dungeon and this much wanting a fight? I'm not sure, maybe he's been lost in here. So the barbarian has a skill of 7 and stamina of 6. He just rolled a 15. And we obviously beat that because our skill is 12. So, yeah. He takes 2. He has a terrible swing of his axe. We dodge underneath. And then we go to strike. And boom. It's another 2 damage to the barbarian. He tries again. This time, he only gets... what's that? 13? And even though we have a pathetic little jab at him, it's enough. We are too skillful for these low-level foes. So we defeat the barbarian. A search of the room reveals nothing of any value, although an old box in the corner contains a wooden mallet and 5 short stumps of wood, sharpened at one end. You may take these if you wish, and can now leave through the door in the north wall. He had nothing good on him. We'll take the mallet. We'll take the mallet and wood. Mallet? And wood. Even if we never use it, it's something that we can drop for another item, like the shield. If we had had something like this that we didn't need, that would have been really good. So now let's escape or leave. The door opens into a short corridor which ends several meters ahead at another door, similar to the one you have just come through. You listen and hear nothing. You try the handle and it turns, allowing you into another room of similar size, but this room is splendidly decorated, with a polished marble floor and rough walls painted white. On each of the 4 walls hangs a painting, and there is another door in the north wall. You can either go straight through the door, or you may stop to look at the paintings. Let's admire the paintings. This room is lovely, and it's this far into the dungeon. The mountain. Maybe the deeper it goes, the more civilized it gets, because the Warlock loves things to be nice and fancy. The paintings are portraits of men. Your spine shivers as you read the nameplate under one of them on the west wall. It's that of Sagar, the Warlock whose treasure you are seeking. You look at his portrait and realize you are pitting yourself against an awesome adversary. You have the feeling that you are being watched and notice the piercing eyes following you as you move. You find yourself drawn towards the portrait and fear rises. Lose 1 skill point. Do you have the courage to try and combat the Warlock? You may either go through the door the north or into the north straight away, but treat this as an escape, which means if we escape, we take 2 damage. Or you may look through your pack for a weapon to use it against the Warlock's power. We have a potion of invisibility, a glove which could be magic or not. Cheese, I don't think cheese is going to help. This is a tough one, but I think it's too early to fight the Warlock. We'll take the extra damage. So we took 3 damage. No, we took 2 stamina damage and 1 to our skill. So we're down to 11 skill and 16 stamina. It's not great. Hopefully we can find somewhere to rest, and then we'll be back up to our normal amount of stamina. And we can hopefully gain skill back at some point. You open the door into a narrow passage and follow it northwards. Some meters up the passageway, it turns to the east, then to the north. However, at this second bend, there is a small alcove in the rock. It seems a convenient hiding place, and a large rock forms a comfortable seat. You may stop here and eat provisions if you wish. When you have rested, continue northwards. Yeah, we're eat, so we are down to 8 provisions, but we are back to 20 stamina. It's amazing. But so far, the only damage we've really taken is um, one to our skill. Everything else is just temporary wounds that we've now recovered. Let's continue northwards. And soon I'll have to take a moment to update our map properly, because it's gotten quite messy. The passageway ends in another wooden door, this time a small one with a carved bone handle. You listen, but hear nothing coming from the inside. You try the handle, and the door opens into a pear-shaped room with a rough stone floor, making walking across it somewhat awkward. In one corner of the room is a pile of rubble, mainly stones and dust. But there is also two odd-shaped pieces of wood and a length of rope. The door on the north wall leads on. Will you examine the bits of rope, study the length of rope, examine the bits of wood, study the length of rope, or leave through the north door? I want the rope because it could come in handy if we get stuck down somewhere. And we've already got 5 bits of wood. You pick up the rope. It looks normal. In fact, it looks as if it might be quite useful. You open your pack to put it in. Suddenly, it comes alive within your fingers, snakes quickly up your arm, and attempts to wrap itself around your neck. You struggle to cut the rope with your sword before its grip tightens. Test your luck. If you are lucky, you cut the rope and it drops to the ground. If you're not, the rope tightens and you lose 1 stamina point. Okay, let's try this. We have to score a left nor under, so we are fine. That's very lucky because each time we fail, we have to try again until either we die or we cut the rope. So we got good by getting it the first time. We defeat the rope and may leave north. And we can't bring it with us. That's terrible. You can see what I was going for, and obviously Sagor the Warlock knew it too by enchanting that rope. Passage ahead leads you northwards. The rocky floor becomes sandy until eventually you are walking on a sort of coarse sand. You notice the passage is widening, and ahead you can hear a flowing river. You continue until you find yourself in a large cavern through which a river flows. You are on the south bank of an underground river, facing across its black depths. There appears to be 4 ways of crossing. To your left, a rusted bell bears the sign, "Ferry service, 2 gold pieces. Please ring." There's a small raft in front of you on the bank, with a long stick resting beside it. You could punt it across the river. A rickety old bridge crosses on the right. If you don't trust any of those, you may swim. We'll ring the bell because that guy told us, the freed slave, to pay the ferryman, although he did then get captured by orcs. But I have a good feeling about the ferryman. The bell gives a dull clang, and after a few moments you see a withered old man climb into the small rowing boat on the north bank. He rows slowly across to you, moors the boat, and limps towards you. He asks for 3 gold pieces. When you protest at the price, he mumbles some flimsy excuse about inflation. He begins to get angry at your protestations. Do you pay him the 3 gold pieces or threaten him? We'll pay. We've got 25 gold. What's 3 gold to us? But I seem to be right a little bit. It gets more civilized the further in we get. At first, it was just orcs and goblins and creatures that we didn't even discover. And now it seems to be, ornate rooms, rowing boats, and a human. Or at least, I think they're human. He calms down, takes the gold, deduct this from your gold, and rolls you across the north bank. After mooring the boat, he ambles off down a passage. Turn to 7. I imagine he has a land-based way back then, if he just moors the boats and then walks away. You are on the north bank of the fast-flowing river and a large underground cavern. 2:14. I guess at this point we can create a new map. So I will just do that right now. This is awesome. We've made some brilliant progress. So we'll just have this to represent the river, and we're on the north side. Amazing. Facing northwards, the rock face is smooth and glistening with moisture. Moss of many different hues grows on the surface. There is an eerie silence punctuated only by the splashings of the river as it flows behind you. You have 3 options. A passage runs off to the northwest. If you take this route, a large timber door directly in front of you. Haha. Okay, I misread that. A passage runs off to the northwest. If you take this route, turn to 271. A large timber door is directly in front of you in the middle of the rock face. If you open the door, turn to 104. And another passage runs along the river eastwards. So we can follow the riverbank, use the big door, or take the passage. Let's use the big door. The reason I'm doing that is because I think the treasure will be somewhere formal. Let's just update our map. I imagine the treasure's going to be in Sagor's, bedroom, something like that. And actual doors is kind of like all roads lead back to Rome sort of scenario. So let's turn to passage 104. I'm very excited. We've made amazing progress and we're very healthy. You find yourself in a short, narrow passageway with a door ahead to the north. You try this door. Really? That's mad that it was that simple. Let me double check. 104? Yeah. I thought the big door would maybe lead to something epic or some sort of encounter, but we seem fine. The door squeaks upon rusty hinges. The room is dark and your eyes begin to adjust themselves. As you close the door behind you, you hear shuffling in the room, but before you can react, a blow to your head knocks you senseless, lose 2 stamina points, and turn to 122. Damn, we didn't even get to react. Just thought that might have been a luck roll, but these gamebooks can be quite savage. I wonder where we're going to end up. Awake, tied, maybe? Captured by orcs? Oh. You awake with a throbbing head and look around. The room is about 8 meters square, with doors to the north and south. You have been dumped in the southwest corner. Standing motionless in the center of the room are 4 men. At least, they appear to be men. Their skin is a greeny grey colour. Their clothes are tattered and torn, and they are all staring vacantly at the ceiling. One carries a club, one a scythe, One an axe and one a pick. They are ignoring you completely. Around the room are various peasant-style weapons, pitchforks, orcs, axe handles, pointed sticks, one or two shields, and several barrels. In the northeast corner is a human corpse with a sword in one hand and a shield in another. You move your hand up to your head and feel for signs of blood, and you are relieved to find that you are not bleeding. But as your hand moves, the strange creatures in the center of the room turn their eyes down towards you. Let's examine this image. Wow. That's some haunting imagery there. Are these other adventurers that got as far as me? I'm not going to talk to them. I could jump to my feet and charge them, or I could scramble for an exit through the south door. Yeah, I'm not talking to them. I could fight them. Let's scramble. No, we're gonna get attacked. Let's scramble. I feel like that's what I would do. I would say I would fight them, but there's just so many. Your head hurts and you feel dizzy as you rise to your feet. The four men stir into action and move towards you single file with their weapons ready. You grope your way down the wall for the south door, but it will be touch and go whether you make it. Your foot slips on a loose pebble and you fall to the ground. Before you regain the footing, the creatures are upon you. 282. Looks like we're going to have to fight. The four creatures shuffling towards you are mindless zombies. Their vacant eyes suggest that their actions are controlled by the will which is not their own. You are still too dizzy to think properly, but you must act quickly. The first zombie reaches you and prepares to swing his club. You must fight him. Okay. He has a skill of 7 and stamina of 6. His first roll was a 13. Our skill is now 12. So, there we go. We won that one because we got a... our skill is now 11. My bad. So we got 19. He's down to 4 stamina. He attacks again. And this time, he gets a better roll of 14. But we crush it. One more attack will kill this zombie. He gets a 11 plus 2, which is 13 again. And yeah, we destroyed that zombie. If you defeat the first zombie, add 2 luck points. Luckily, we haven't used any of our luck, so we're fine. We must fight... Okay, we turn to fight the other 3, and fight each in turn. Okay. What that means is that we fight the zombie until he's dead, and then fight the next, and then fight the next. They're single file coming at us. So, with its skill of 6, he scored a 13. Seems common right now. And I scored a... I've got to get used to my skill being lower. So, that's an 18. And he takes 2 stamina. He's down to 4. Ooh. Oh, no. He scored an 18. It's really good. And it's not so good for me. Oh, no. We scored 15. It's not great. We take 2 damage to our stamina. This time he rolled a little bit worse. And we rolled a lot better. He's down to 2 stamina. He rolls again with his scythe. He has a... Is that another 13? Wow, okay. And we score... Just eat that one out there with a 14. Sorry, a 15. My math skills aren't with me today. Well, that zombie's down. Next zombie rolled 5, so 11. And we got better than that because that's our base, so he takes 2. That zombie then rolled a 13 again. And we crush that one absolutely by rolling a 18. rolls again. It gets 12. And we can't lose that one there. So that's another dead zombie. The last zombie has an axe, and he rolls, gets a good score. That is a 14. But we crush it. Zombie rolls again. That time it got under our skill, or the same, so we can't lose that. And one more attack will end it. It rolled a very pathetic 10. And yeah, defeated. We defeated all 4. Maybe we should have fought them straight away. We are a very strong guy. I was just worried at the time. The poor wretches lying dead at your feet almost look happy to be relieved of the burden of life. But as you look down at them, you sense that you are not the only one to know of their deaths. Oh, okay. Looking around the room, you may investigate the weapons lying around, go over to the dead body in the northeast corner, or check the barrels. The weapons were naff, it seemed like. Peasantry weapons, they said. Go over to the dead body. That seems like a good idea, because he had a shield. We'll check the barrels, probably provisions. Let's go to the body. Maybe he'll be a zombie too. I wonder why he isn't.